On to match 3. We won match 1 against Lands. We lost match 2 against Grixis Delver. We're going to be on the draw against an unknown opponent. And we have to mulligan this. It is so close to being great. This is a fairly reasonable hand. We'd like to have a cantrip, but everything else just is pretty decent. So we've got a tutor, we've got some mana, and we've got a duress. We're going to scry the other ritual to the bottom. And we see a port, so we can only assume death and taxes. So I think we're going to therapy naming Thalia here. The other option is lands, but we're not expecting that. We've seen lands once this league, and as I mentioned, I've almost never seen it. And I'll just pause here for a moment. The reason I've kept this league is because, strangely, we got to see lands twice in a single league. I think I've had this happen once before, but it's very rare. I should probably mention that at this time we can probably leave it as I can probably refer to it as the LSV effect. At the time I was making this league, LSV had not long previously released his league on lands. So I suspect that's why we're seeing so much of it here. Anyway, let's keep going. We see a hand with absolutely nothing in it, by the way, so I don't know why our opponent has kept this hand. Now, we would have liked to have our other land there, what with the extra tutor, but given they're not actually doing anything here, we're going to be happy to play draw go for a while. Now, if they've got ports, if we see an early port, we're more inclined to just grab a basic, as they're going to be down to most likely 1 to 2 ghost quarters. Unfortunately, we're missing on lands here, but we're completely okay with that. Now Mana Bond's out, they're going to pitch their hand. We're not even going to be worried about a crop rotation for the rest of the game, I suspect. Okay, and they've got their loam going. So that does mean we probably need to step it up a little here if we can. So I expect our opponent to fairly soon start staging his ports, and once that happens we have basically 2 outs. We need to draw enough LEDs and rituals to flash back Past in Flames, or we need to just sandbag the land until we find like Dark Ritual LED, and then we can jam then. From here, I think when we draw to hand size, I don't know if I'd rather pitch Duress or Preordain. I feel like Duress has to be Duress. I don't really know what our opponent's doing here. Okay, so for some reason they've let us untap without porting us. I think we're now going to sandbag that land. Now, opponent's now found a Ghost Quarter. I think in this particular case we don't really care. It's not achieving anything. They're already porting us off our only land in play. And Ghost Quartering us out of basics isn't really going to achieve anything. Alright, so we found our LED. I think that means this turn we can pitch... I think we should pitch Ponder. This is a very unpleasantly grindy game against lands so far. It's looking like it's going to be reasonably inevitable that we win, but it's going to take a bit of time. So I actually think we should have cast a Ponder that turn, or the turn before. Probably that turn just because of the land, the extra land that we drew. The reason we want to cast the Ponder is so that we can untap Ponder for an LED. So that, yeah, we can Ponder for an LED, untap with a land, 2 LEDs and Past in Flames, and win from there. I think even a Dark Ritual now pretty convincingly wins us the game. The one thing that we do need to be wary of is we're now down to... Okay, so we need to... We should keep this. What we should be doing this turn is going for it. So there's actually a line here right now, which we're punting really badly. We should have played LED and LED, cracked LED for red and black. Flashback Past in Flames, use Gitaxian Probe to draw the LED on top of our library, and use that for the black that we need to get the Cabal rituals started. That was the line then. And that's actually going to punish us now. Because we've missed it, we're going to get punished by Mana Bond finding Bojuka Bog. I mean, look, realistically, it's a miracle we're not dead already. Our opponent has not found Marit Lage. But we're going to get punished by the Bojuka Bog, which then means we need to fade one more turn. Because we need to now draw the Past in Flames off the top of our library. And then use all our LEDs to get the ball or get the chain rolling again. And we're also now worried about punishing fire of all things. So the world's slowest clock is actually threatening to finish us up. So I guess our opponent's going to drop a Tabernacle here, which is almost amusing, really. However, we're just going to... So if we drop everything into our graveyard right now, we have 9 cards, 8 cards after Past in Flames, 7 cards after the first Cabal Ritual. So how much mana, how much Storm do we have? Three LEDs. So we have, what, 8 cards in hand. We're going to cast 7 of them. So I think we need to be able to tutor for tutor. So 4, 7, 8 mana, I think we can tutor for tutor. So I think we actually have the deterministic win here. Because we'd go to 4 mana up to 7 mana with the first Cabal Ritual, 8 after the second, 6 after Infernal Tutor number 1, 4 after Infernal Tutor number 2, which would give us Storm Count 8, and then Tendrils for Storm Count 9. So fortunately from here, we know our opponent's got nothing in hand, they've got nothing relevant, and we have a free run of whatever we want to do. Which is going to involve going up to 7, 10 mana and finding, I guess, casting 3 tutors if we feel like it. So we really didn't deserve to win this. And there were a lot of mistakes made. Multiple times where we could have jammed and just didn't bother. Or just missed the line completely. Now the scary bit here is I can't do the punishing fire math, so I can't figure out whether or not we can lose, but apparently we can't. We're just going to follow the same board plan as last time. Cut the therapies, a Past in Flames, a Cabal Ritual, and a Preordain, and bring in every piece of removal we have. If we wanted to be cute, we could bring in Ground Seal, which badly damages their game plan, but does still leave them with something like 8 tutors just to try to put together their combo kill. So I don't think that's something we're super interested in doing. I think we should have kept the previous hand. It had a lot of lands that had an Abrupt Decay. We got punished as a result, and now we've got a hand that's borderline uncapable. If our opponent has a sphere, we probably don't win. So we're going to cycle a probe, and we should cycle a probe this turn. Just so we can hope to find another land. Our opponent has a wasteland, and that's very likely going to mean end of the game for us. So I guess my opponent should be doing something like crop rotation, crop bog, grab stage, play the next land, crop again. And that should get them the game in, oh no, there we go, Natural Dark Depths. And we'll just concede there. And this time we'll be on the play, and we'll try not to lose at the mulligan stage. That hand was so close to being something I think I'd be interested in keeping. The double probe could lead to something, could lead to a pretty disgusting win if we manage to pull anything off. Instead, we'll just keep something a little more sensible. And we'll keep that on the top, and I guess we should probably... So I'm not sure what, if anything, we wanted to rest this turn. Maybe the Mox Diamond. Mox Diamond or Gamble. So the reason we're taking the Mox Diamond there is it's their accelerant. Lands normally won't keep a hand without an accelerant, and I don't think they work quite so well without something to make them go faster. I'm going to ponder here. We're going to need to shuffle. And we find an Ad Nauseam. We're going to hope to beat a sphere here. Okay, and our opponent finds the sphere. I suppose if they hadn't, they'd gamble for it. We're going to have to do a slow setup here. So what we really need to do is go something along the lines of dodge Wasteland, find... I think we want a decay end of turn now, actually. I think we're very interested in casting decay end of turn. So while we normally don't care too much about punishing fire, this is one of those times where it's actually doing something relevant. We should decay. And they're probably going to port us, they might port, there's arguments to be made for porting blue and black. In this particular case, they're going to port the blue, so we're going to brainstorm while we can. And I think we put back Hurkyl's Ad Nauseam, and I think we can, how much mana do we have? So we have 1, 3, 4, 7 mana. So we have an Ad Nauseam. So we're going to need to put back Ad Nauseam first. This is Hurkyl second. So we're going to draw the Hurkyls for turn. And I think we are actually going to cast the Ad Nauseam this turn. It's not ideal. However, we have a land drop and we have 16 life. Our opponent's representing crop rotation pretty hard with that snow-covered forest as well. So we don't need to get terribly lucky here. I think all we really need to aim to do is draw. So we'll see what happens. If we can draw 10 cards and go off next turn, we're going to be pretty happy. We should be able to set ourselves in a position where we can beat their lock piece. Or if we can hit something like Dark Ritual, LED Infernal Tutor, that should do it. So, what we can do here is if we cast Dark Ritual into Cabal Ritual, and our opponent bogs then, we're going to have 5 mana and be able to cast Dark Petition, crack LED in response. We're going to get to pitch our hand, and kill him anyway. Because we're going to have Spell Mastery on Dark Petition. If he waits for Dark Petition to resolve and then bogs then, we're still going to have 4 mana open, and we're going to be able to cast Tendrils anyway. However, we opt for the hard way, which is Brainstorm. We find our Infernal Tutor. And it's all GG's from here. Yep, so we'll just grab tendrils and we'll get there.